Thank y'all for tapping into your cuz podcast, man. I'm giving y'all a double banging tonight, man. I'm giving up all double bangers tonight, right? Because y'all know it's cold outside. Y'all sitting in the house ain't doing nothing. So listen, y'all might want to tune into your cuz podcast, man. We might well talk about Donald Trump, man, because Donald Trump got a lot of shit going on. But listen, man, thank y'all for tapping into your cuz podcast. Like I say, man, I love y'all for all the support that y'all are giving the page. Keep up the good work. And thank y'all for tapping in. Listen, man, I ain't gonna waste no time, but Donald Trump done sat down with Jack Paul. This is Jack Paul first podcast, and he got Donald Trump on there. That's a big move. I don't know what he did to get Donald Trump up on there, but Donald Trump is up on that. So make sure y'all pay attention, man, what's going on, man. Because they really having a serious conversation like they been knew each other, man. Pay attention. We lit.
So, Mr. President, what an honor.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for sitting down with me today. I think we'll get into some personal stuff, some fun stuff, and yeah, it's an honor. We're here at a factory doing a rally. It's my first rally, and it's actually my first show on this podcast. So you're gonna be my first and last
wow,
guest.
that's good. Well, we're gonna have to get good ratings.
We got to get some good ratings.
better.
You were flying in on Air Force One.
Right.
Is it true that you watched the Joshua fight on Air Force One?
I watched it. I watched you, and I thought you were very brave. He's a pretty big guy, you know. He's good, and he's legit. Look, he's a legitimate fighter, and I thought you were great. You did yourself no harm,
No.
other than your chin, maybe.
Other than the jaw, which is healing. How big is the TV on Air Force One? That was
Good.
what I was-
It's good. It's good. The best you can have, I tell you. You know, they view it as cost is no object, right? But it was good. I got to see that. I really watched it. We had a whole plane full of people watching you, and you know, if size mattered,
Yeah.
then I said he's going to be in trouble. And they say it matters.
I got into the ring with him, and I realized he was much bigger than I thought.
You didn't see that like at a weigh-in or
No,
anything?
not at the weigh-in, not at the press conference. And then I got in the ring. I just saw his size, and I was just like, okay, this is going to be a tough night.
So who do you fight next?
It's a good question. I think Francis
Would you
Ngannou-
ever fight him again? No.
No, I don't think so. I think I need to go stay at my weight class.
I think so, right?
Maybe doing some MMA. We're promoting fights now
Right.
on Netflix. We got Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. Maybe Usyk in MMA.
Right.
Francis
Very good.
Ngannou, Ryan Garcia,
Right.
maybe Tommy Fury. There's a lot of. Who would you want to
They
see me
say-
fight?
Well, I probably Khabib. How about Khabib?
I'm down.
You know, I think he's been just great. When they say who is the best of those, I mean, I've had a lot of fights. I've had Mike Tyson and a lot of them. That
Yeah.
was great.
Have you ever been in a fight? I heard a rumor about you like helping Kobe one time at a game. Is that
That was
a
a
true
long
story?
time ago, right? That was a,
Is this a
yeah,
true
it's-
story?
Well, it wasn't a fight. I was breaking up a fight.
Okay.
Which sometimes is more dangerous than being in a fight, right? But no, I like Kobe. Kobe was having a hard time with somebody, and it worked out fine. But yeah, I broke it up. Probably not a smart thing to do. Historically, it's never good to break up fights.
Yeah, I try to de-escalate situations a lot. But you're gonna be at UFC 250.
I will be. It's going to be amazing at the White House. And Dana's a great guy. He's a good fan of yours, you know.
Yes.
But Dana's a good guy, the best. I mean, there's nobody like him. And he had the idea of staging it right at the front door of the White House. We'll be right in the front door of the White House. And he's got a tremendous card. I don't even know if it's filled out, but I just saw it, and it looks like it's going to be, you know, all top guys. They all want to fight at the White House. So it's going to be in honor of the 250th year.
This man,
So it'll be great.
stop having
No, I'm
fights
excited.
at
I'm
the
excited
White
to
House,
see
though, man. Y'all hear
Sean
that
O'Malley.
shit?
He's the homie.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great fighter. And that's what I wanted to ask. You went from boxing promotion, apprentice, TV shows, and then eventually, you know, obviously real estate, and then eventually was like, okay, I'm going to go into politics. How did that transition happen? Because, like, I see myself wanting to get more into this world. I believe it's the biggest way to create impact and change
Would
in
you
America.
ever run for office?
I think so. That's what I'm asking for some advice. Like, how did you make that transition, and Was it hard?
So, yeah, I don't know. I had to do it. You know, it's hard. A lot of people talk about it. You had to do it. And I had one shot left because you get to a certain age, you have a few years left. You got about 40 years to make the decision. But I
Crazy,
had one
bro.
shot. You know, the timing was good, but if I waited longer, it wouldn't have been good because of the clock, you know, the famous clock,
Yeah.
Father Time.
Yeah.
And so I had to make a decision, do I do it? And I made it, but I was thinking about it for years. I used to talk about it because I was well known. I was very well known. I was successful, did well, loved real estate. Then we had The Apprentice. Mark Burnett was great. And we did, you know, I did lots of #1 bestsellers. My books were all bestsellers. And I see we have magazines. I was on this magazine so much. I'm looking at that picture. What are you doing to me? Show me that picture.
This is the coolest magazine cover of all time.
Yeah, well, it's like
Was it like hot on your ear? Could you feel the bullet?
you had that throbbing feeling. You
The
knew,
man asked
you
him
knew
if
there
he
was
feel the
something. It
bullet
was a
when he
bloody
got
mess.
shot, John.
What happens is, well, you know this better than anybody. The ear bleeds more because I said, why is there so much blood? And the ear's a big bleeder, having to
Yeah.
do with cartilage. I didn't want to go into it too much, but
Jack Ball, yeah,
it was bloody as hell. So when I checked,
yeah, bro.
I put my hand up. I said, you know, I brought it down, and it was loaded up. So I said, that's either the biggest mosquito bite in history, or I just got shot. And that was not a pleasant experience.
Yeah, my adrenaline was pumping. I'm sure your adrenaline was pumping. Like when my jaw was broken, I just couldn't really feel it.
Oh, so
that
you
much.
knew that you had a broke, and you
No, my brother told me. I was talking to him, and my teeth were like in the center of my mouth, and he was like, "Yo, I think your jaw is broken." And then I like grabbed it. And
But when he was
realized-
hitting you, you didn't feel the.
it was the
extra
last punch.
It was
Why
the
you say
last
that's AI?
Yeah, the
That
very
ain't
last punch
AI.
of the fight that did it. So
Wow.
that's when I like went to the floor and was like, "Whoa."
Was that hard to recover from?
Yeah, it's still healing.
It's still healing?
Yeah, I'm not able to fight till later this year.
Will that heal perfectly though? Eventually,
Hopefully.
it won't have lasting impact, right? I hope.
No, I think it'll be able to grow back stronger, hopefully. So
It's amazing because, you know, I've known a lot about fights. I've hosted a lot of fights over the years.
My man said I
And
boosted a lot.
it was
of fights.
amazing when you started doing this. I said, it's not possible for, I call it a civilian, for a civilian to beat a professional boxer. Because I've seen, even if they were much older, because, you know, they've been the best fighters and all. And at first I said, well, is this really happening? Because, you know, you were beating guys, UFC guys who weren't retired that long.
yeah,
And I just didn't think it was possible. And then I realized, you know, you really are the real deal. The one problem is this last guy was so big
yeah,
and talented. Didn't he win the Olympics too? On top
yeah,
of
gold
everything?
medalist.
You didn't need this.
No, I know.
Yeah, bro.
People said I was crazy.
Would you have done it again knowing how it worked out?
Yeah, I don't have any
Money
regrets
talk.
on it, and I love a challenge, and it motivated me to get better. And the experience of being in the ring with someone that good and someone that big, I think moving forward, the next people I fight, it's gonna be like a lot easier actually. So I think it was good experience, but I think that's defying the odds, which is like what you've done as well. When everyone says you can't do it, do you have advice for younger people for going against the tide, going against the wind, and just
Well, the
locking in?
biggest victories are when you go against the wind.
Yeah,
Right? Go against what everyone thinks like can't be done. Those are the biggest victories. They're usually the most lucrative too, even in business. You know, when you hit it, it's a bigger hit. But like, I just said I'm going to do it. I was thinking about it for so long, and sometimes people would say, like, you ought to do it, or don't talk about it. My wife actually said, do it, or don't talk about it. I'd watch these guys, and like at debates, I say, I could kill him. I mean, that guy's nothing like you. That guy's nothing.
yeah,
And I said, I could, there's no way he could beat me in a debate. And she said, all right, so do it or don't do it, but don't talk about it.
yeah,
Don't
And I
talk
actually
about
said,
it.
I wasn't sure if I liked that too much, but she would actually say, our first lady is now a movie star, okay? So
Yeah.
on top of everything else, she's now first lady and a movie star. A
I've
movie
seen the
is
doc.
the #1 movie, can you believe it? But she'd say, do it or don't do it. It's okay,
Yeah.
but don't talk about it. And if you do it, you're going to win. You know that, don't you? I said, no. if you do it, you're going to win. But do it or don't do it. It's okay. Either way is okay.
Yeah.
So you have to do it. And like you said, you have that little bug, and it is a bug. Being a politician, it is a bug. I think there was nothing like in history when I won the first time. It's that was the most unbelievable thing. And then coming back, some people would say it was bigger than the first time. I got cheated, and the second, I did great. It's like somebody cheating in a fight, and it's coming out. All that stuff is coming out now. But in a way, it made the second victory bigger, much bigger. And it was just, it's a great feeling. Winning is a good thing, winning, and whether it's in politics, whether it's in fighting, winning is amazing.
Yep.
There's no feeling like winning. Yep. And most people don't think they can win. Most people, I actually think some people don't want to win. You understand that?
Yeah, they want to be victimized and feel
They
bad
wanna
for
be- yeah, they
themselves.
This weird thing going on.
I would rather lose. That was what I was saying with Joshua. Is I'd rather lose and get embarrassed, but the chance of me winning, it could be the greatest upset.
Yeah, but
in
you weren't
sports.
embarrassed because,
No.
first of all, he was so much bigger.
Yeah.
Look, one thing I've seen in fighting, if somebody's like 4 pounds heavier, it's a different weight class.
Yeah.
And it's hard to beat somebody that's even a little bit heavier. And you've with a guy that was like 60, 70 pounds heavier, right? At
Yeah.
least.
No, exactly.
So it's, you did. I'm
Because
proud
he's
of you.
still
Thank you,
messed
man.
up.
This is my brand, which is all about winning. So it's funny you're saying that. Made in the USA. I know you're all about bringing jobs back to America. I don't know.
That's
if
good
you could
looking, though.
Thank you, man. Get
Go buy
W.
it. Go buy it, Mega. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
we're
good.
in Walmarts and really
Good.
hitting like the heart of America, but made in the USA. And I know you want to bring more jobs. And I think my generation, I think, is in a weird place with like going to school, getting jobs. AI is coming. Give any advice to my generation of people of where to go, where to look, what jobs, manufacturing,
Yeah.
how can they get more active and get more opportunities in front of them?
So you know this better than anybody. Because I get this question a lot. What do you do?
Yeah.
You always have to find something you love doing.
Yeah.
Like, I tell people their father wants them to go into business and he hates the business, and the father's successful, they're pushing the son. You've got to do something you like, or you're just not going to be successful at it if you don't. With that being said, try and like something that's where there's a future. Like the hot thing right now is AI.
Yeah.
If you know the AI thing, you're going to get an unbelievable, crazy job at ridiculous numbers you never thought of. That could cool off. Maybe it's going to
That's
cool
crazy.
off, but right now. So if you like computers and all of that, it's not a bad thing. Go into an industry. There are some industries. Retailing's always tough. There are some industries that are tough. If you love it, do it. But if you can love something where it's got a lot of potential, you're much better off doing that. I have friends that are really smart. They went into businesses that are very, very tough. And they lost. I mean, they work. They're smarter
Everything
than other
happened at
people I know,
Walmart.
but they're
All
in the
the
wrong
fights,
industry.
all the videos.
If they were in
all
the
this
right
shit.
industry, they'd do much better.
Everything
So
happened
try
at
picking
Walmart,
something
bro.
that's got potential, and you have to love what you do.
Yeah, that's what I've always told people is like turn your hobby into your job. I mean, me and my brother were
Turn
filming
your hobby
videos,
into your job.
and look at where it's gotten to today, and just
When did you know
chase
you
that.
were going to be a fighter, though? Wasn't that later?
It was later. I didn't start fighting until I was like 21. Basically, these other YouTube kids started talking smack, and sort of like you with the debates, I was like, I can beat this kid up, and so I just started training overnight to become a fighter, and I fell in love with it, and it actually became my top priority.
But did you build up, or were you always like a very strong guy?
I was a strong guy. I had athletic background, Ohio Division I football, Division I wrestling, played sports growing up. So I definitely had the athletic prowess. But at the time I was like on Disney Channel, so I hadn't been training for a long time. So it definitely took me a little bit to get back into
So
it.
your brother's a great guy, too. And it's sort of similar. I mean, it's very unusual. And he's a good fighter.
Yeah.
Who's a better fighter, you or him?
I am, sir. I am, sir. He knows that too, but he's a better WWE wrestler. But I think that
Oh,
would,
is that true? He's
yeah.
a better, really?
Yeah, he's incredible at WWE.
Wow, that's great.
He's my favorite. I think they need to make him the champion one day.
That's great.
Yeah, but if we fought, I think he knows what would happen. I love you, Logan, but
Do you ever fight him?
people want us to. I just don't think we really want to. But I think it would probably
It's hard to smash your brother.
Exactly. I just
Typically,
love him.
it hasn't
It's
worked
not
out.
the move.
There've been some cases like that. Hasn't worked out.
But yeah, I think it would be one of the biggest fights out there.
So what is this show all about? Tell me. And I'm doing this out of respect for you. Because I'm the president of the United States, and I'm sitting here with Jake, and I'm saying, you think Joe Biden would do this interview?
No.
I don't think so. He wouldn't know where the hell he is. No, but I'm the president of the, and I'm doing this show.
Yeah.
And I'm only doing it for one reason, because I respect you. It's
Thank you.
very interesting, right?
No, and I think that's such a big reason why you connected with the youth in the last election was going out there. You know, your team hasn't even told me what to say or any limits, talk about anything, and so
See, that's because they're not doing
that's
their
respect.
job.
That's really
I could say they're not doing their job.
But I think that was a massive reason on you connecting with the youth, and I think I'm open to talking to anyone, and I don't think the other side is really open to it. I don't know what the issue is. I think my brother tried to interview Kamala and you as well, and they just, I think, are scared of actually sitting down and
They were,
chatting.
not me.
No,
Your brother was great.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Joe Rogan was a great interview. He did 300 million people.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
then she didn't want to do it. Which
300
maybe
million
she should have. I don't know.
people?
You know, it's funny. It was. I did him, and I did some other guys who were really great guys. Barron, my son, Barron, I have a very tall son.
Yeah.
And he's a smart guy, and he's a good kid. But he listens to you. First time I ever heard your name was through my son, and he knew a lot of the. I don't know if you call them podcasters or influencers or whatever you want to call them, but he'd give me some names that I never heard of. And they were very important to, because I won with youth. I did great with youth.
Yeah.
Republicans, for whatever reason, don't do great with youth, and I did unbelievably in TikTok. And then Barron said, Dad, you got to do Joe Rogan. And we wanted to do it. We were talking about it for a long time, about not even this, about other things, not politics, even before politics for me. But we had a great talk. It lasted for 3.5 hours. And you call that long form, right? That was,
Yeah.
and it was like a nice conversation with a great guy. He's like a great guy. And she should have done it, I guess, but she didn't do it. And we had a great election. This was a great election. And the country's
That's
doing
crazy.
unbelievably well. This
You nigga
country,
really on
we
an
did this
interview with
excursion.
Jack
We had to
Paul,
do
bruh.
it, wipe out evil. Sometimes you have evil. And for 47 years, they've been killing people in the
Right.
most violent way.
You hear me? He really on the
roadside
interview
bombs
with him,
all
though,
over the
bro.
place. That was 95% of them are from Iran. Soleimani, that was the one. We took him out. We did a lot of things, the B-2 bombers, and all of this whole thing that we're doing now is people have waited for 47 years for it to happen. So we have to do it right. But our military has been unbelievable.
No, and I commend you for your bravery, and I think so many
That bravery.
Iranians do as well. And I was a bit shocked too. Like everyone else in the world was like, "This is the greatest thing," and I think
Why you say
what
that?
you're doing is phenomenal. And I was shocked that
Why you
so
say
many
that? Why you
activists
say
like
gross?
in America didn't like it, but meanwhile they're like, "Oh, well, we support women. We want women to have all these rights." Meanwhile, you're liberating the women of Iran, and then they have an issue with it. I thought that was very confusing.
We support gays, but they throw gays off the buildings,
Yeah.
okay? We support this. I mean, the things they do, and they're fighting. But
Okay.
I think I have tremendous support on this. This is
God.
something
Then for
that's been
40
incredible. I have
million,
my,
I'd have
the
did
best
that
poll
too.
numbers I've ever had
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And
40
it's not because
million,
of
I
this.
would've
I think
did
we
that
just,
too.
the economy's
Yeah.
great. It's a little bit of
Mike Tyson was
we take a
broke
little winding road
until he started
for a
selling
little
weed.
while, but we have to wipe out the evil. It's an evil curse. They're evil people. And hey, we wiped out their Navy.
Go ahead,
We
man.
wiped out their Air Force. We wiped out everything there is to wipe out. We wiped out their leadership twice. The second time they were meeting to pick which one of them would be the leader, they got wiped out. Now they're looking for a third time. I don't know. People say the sun, but nobody knows where the sun is.
For real.
The
Shit.
military has
40
been
million?
unbelievable. You know, I built
I'd
the
have took
military.
that
I had a great
too.
first term.
Shit.
And I built the military. We had the best economy
Crazy.
in history in my first term.
I'd have
We
took
built
that
the
40.
military in the first term.
Ah,
I didn't know
yeah.
I'd use it so much.
That's 40 with
But
an
you look
M.
at Venezuela, which has worked out incredibly
that.
well.
Yeah.
That was a great
Yeah.
military attack.
Was it strategic to go after Maduro first and secure the Venezuelan oil and then go after Iran?
So no, it wasn't time-wise. It wasn't. It was with Iran. We knew we had to do something because they were going to be attacking us. If we didn't attack them, they were going to attack us, and we did it first. And by going first, we wiped out thousands of missiles that would have been shot. And you know, you can shoot them down, but you need a lot of very expensive weaponry to shoot them down. We wiped out thousands and thousands of missiles by going early. And it made a
Man,
big
talk
difference.
about-
No, Venezuela was the
Man
right
saying
time. They've been
missiles,
after
bruh.
Maduro
That's
for a
a
long
whole
time.
nother level, man.
They were sending drugs. I mean, they were
Missiles,
sending drugs
bruh.
into our country. You've seen it.
Yeah.
You
They
hear
were
that?
sending the most violent prisoners. They emptied their prisons. They let them into our country, and it was just the right time. I mean, so it was had nothing to do with. It was an interesting question because people say, "Well, you did so well with Venezuela. Did that give you the spirit or the confidence to go?" And nothing to do with it. We had some negotiations where I would have preferred making a deal. I guess. I don't know. Look, I wasn't that anxious to make a deal. That it would have to be a really good deal. They had to get. The number one thing is they cannot have nuclear weapons. Okay. Because a nuclear weapon, they have a nuclear weapon, bad things, they would have wiped Israel off the face of the planet. Our timing on that was incredible. If we didn't do the B-2 attack, the B-2 is the attack of the nuclear, they would have had a nuclear weapon. If they had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it in the Middle East against Israel and other countries. And you saw that recently when they're shooting all these missiles. We didn't know what was happening because we're saying, wait a minute, we're going after them. And they're shooting Saudi Arabia, and they're shooting Qatar, and they're shooting UAE, and they're
Crazy,
shooting all
bro.
these other countries, and
That's crazy.
nobody knew what was going on. You saw that.
Yeah, they're
That's
just wreaking
crazy.
havoc
No, they
on
made it. Well,
everything.
they were trying to frighten them, but
Yeah.
they didn't get frightened. It was the opposite. They fought back,
Yeah.
and they were on our side. But our military has done a great job.
Yeah, no, it's been incredible to watch. I have another question they're wanting us to wrap up here, but I always ask people this question. I think it's super interesting. If you could come back in history and reincarnate and like be able to experience someone else's life, who would you come back in history as?
That's a very interesting question. Maybe Donald Trump. Right now, I think Donald Trump right now.
No, boy,
My
you
life
said
is
Donald
very
Trump.
exciting. I have to be honest. I'm thinking about other lives. I think my life is
That-
maybe more
Now
exciting.
his life is
I don't
very
know. Look, I've had a great
exciting.
time. I just, I started off with the phrase, make America great again. Our country was in trouble. We were doing badly. 2015, we had the open border, nothing like it was under Biden, but it was bad. A lot of people coming in, bad people from jails, from mental institutions, gang members, murderers. We had 11,888 murderers come into our country. Got them out. We're getting
Damn.
most of them out. We're trying to get all of them out. They should have never been allowed in. But we had a bad border when I first came in. I won on the border twice. I won the first time and other things, and business and other things. But I won the first time on the border, fixed it almost immediately,
Yeah, but what
built
do you think?
almost 1,000 miles of wall. Then
Teach
the second time, I say
I
the
don't
border
know
is
what you
back. I'm
think.
going to win on the border a second time. But the second time, because we had a great border in the first, after I got it going. And then the second time, now we've had nobody come into our country in the last 9 months. I mean, like literally nobody. And that's given out by
Somebody said
Democrats.
literally
That's not by,
nobody.
we had millions of people pour into our country. You know the
Yeah.
story. And they came in from jails. These are the from all countries all over the world. The Congo, they came in from all over South America. So
And are you guys targeting the bad actors
Yeah.
specifically? Because I believe there's so many amazing people who have come to the country that are awesome
40 million
immigrants,
was
and it's like, how are you guys,
hell yeah.
deciphering?
40
We're
million
really looking for
good.
the bad ones
Yeah.
more than anything
Yeah.
else. We got to get the bad ones in.
Yeah.
We have, I told you,
could go a lot with 40
11,888
million.
murderers came. More than
Shit.
50% murdered more
do a
than one
lot.
person. And we have them, either they're gone, some are so bad we don't want to bring them back to a country.
Yeah.
You know, they came in from other countries, rough countries, and we put them in jail because we don't want them to come back. We don't want them ever back here. They're really dangerous. Washington, D.C. was a very dangerous place. Now it's the safest city. It's as safe as any city in the country. We took it from 2 to 3 murders
Safe.
a week
Yeah.
He never.
to no murders a week.
black
You know,
people.
we did a
No
good job. Our
way.
military did it. We put the military there. They did a
No
great
way.
job. The National Guard.
Never did.
No, we're doing a good job, and people like it. And I just, that's all I want. It's just, I
That-
just
that-
want to be a president.
That'll be a good
Done
interview,
a great
though.
job. We had to bring the country back. So the term MAGA, Make America Great Again, it was such a great term. And that's what I've done.
He
Because
said that's a great term.
literally a year and a half ago, we had a country that was laughed at all over the world. You know that. They were laughing.
Yeah, we were just not respected.
Nobody respected
No one
us.
respected the leadership.
We had a country that was laughed at. The king of Saudi
No
Arabia
one
told me, he
respect
said,
the
you know,
leadership.
a year and a half ago, your country was dead. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and we do. And it's guys like you that make it hot.
Thank you.
It's guys like you, and it's presidents
We're
like me
trying,
that
we're
have
trying.
interviews with guys like you. But I think you're great, and congratulations to your fiance, I think,
Yes,
right?
fiance, she's the best.
She just
She's
won a gold medal, I tell you, and I watched her win that gold medal, and nobody had a chance.
Yeah.
They didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
That wasn't even fair, right?
No, she's a legend. I'm so
No,
proud of her. It was
no.
the greatest thing I've ever witnessed in person,
Well,
and to be a part of
she's
it.
a great person, beautiful. You're not allowed to say beautiful. It's the end of your political
she's
career, but you know what? She's beautiful.
Melania's beautiful as
Yeah,
well.
she is. She's doing great. She's doing a good job.
Look at us complimenting.
Yeah, well, it's nice. Nice when you can do that, right?
Exactly.
I just want to congratulate you. Great job.
Thank you, man.
You're a young guy, but you have done some incredible job.
Thank you.
And so different.
Yeah, man. I feel like I'm just hitting stride. I'm 29, and I look up to you and your American, story, the American dream, and that's what I want to do is inspire other kids who are watching this right now to chase
they are laughing
their
at
American
you.
dream because it's possible. I'm, from a couple hours away from here, coming back to Ohio to do this interview is just a dream come true.
Well, I love Ohio. It's been good to me. We won in a landslide.
Yeah.
We won
Crushed
everything
it.
practically in a landslide.
Florida
It's-
crushed it.
It's good. Florida,
Georgia.
Texas, all of them. It's been a great time. I've had a great time, and it's been a real experience. But much more important is to just take this country and bring it back, and it's really back. It's really back.
Yeah, I feel it. No, and I think everyone else feels it as well. And I think the momentum's growing, and
Yep.
we really appreciate
Respect.
you.
They have to respect our country, right?
Yep.
And to do that, they have to respect your leader.
Yep.
So I appreciate it. You
I
just take
appreciate
care.
it as
Say hello to your brother, okay?
I will.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you
very
for
much.
sitting down.
Great honor.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Want to just do a pick and then, cool.
I'm tapping in, man. Listen, y'all already know I'm going to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Because we lit the night because it's cold outside. Yeah, but guess what? We're going to keep it moving tonight, man. Thank y'all for tapping into your Cuz Podcast, man. We're going to keep it lit with Uncle Trump. Let's go. Ain't going to waste no time.
Now, you add that up to all of the other things, Midnight Hammer, getting rid of the nuclear threat from Iran, which was a big moment in history, in my opinion, and the great success we've had in Venezuela and all other places. Every place we've gone, we've had tremendous success. But while we're doing all of these things, we're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete. We've wiped every single force in Iran out very completely. Most of Iran's naval power has been sunk. It's on the bottom of the sea. It's almost 50 ships. I was just notified it's 51 ships. I didn't know
51
they had that many.
ships that they shot
Didn't
down,
last very
bro.
long.
That's a lot of
And these are
ships,
fighting
bro.
vessels. They're meant to fight, but they're not meant to fight against us. We continue to target Iran's drone and missile capabilities. Their drones are way down. Their drone manufacturing's been hit starting today. We know all of the places they manufacture the drones, and they're being hit one after another.
That's crazy.
Their missile capability is down to about 10%, maybe less. We're also hitting where they make missiles and where they deliver missiles. We've struck over 5,000 targets to date, some of them very major targets, and we've left some of the most important targets for later in case we need to do it. If we hit them, it's going to take many years for them to be rebuilt, having to do with electricity production and many other things. So we're not looking to do that if we don't have to. But they're the kind of things that are very easy to hit, but very devastating if they are hit. We are waiting to see what happens before we hit them. We could take them all out in one day, but it's all resulting in a 90% decline in various things, but in particular, Iranian missile launchers, and 83% drop in drone launchers. As you know, the drone launchers are pretty well shot, but we're at over 90% decline in the Iranian missile launchers, which is very hard to reproduce and very hard to get. And usually what we were able to do through great equipment, a lot of smart people, as soon as they sent a missile up from a launcher, we were able to knock out that launcher within
That's
a period of
crazy.
5 minutes or less, accurately right on the noggin. So now we have low-cost interceptors effectively combating Iranian drones, and our B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound bombs to destroy missile launchers all over Iran and buried deep under Iranian soil in many cases. The soil was no match. And we're also annihilating the manufacturing base that the regime uses to build drones and missiles at a rate that nobody thought was possible. We're knocking them out. We know where they all are. We're knocking them out very quickly. We're
And
ahead of
very
our initial
quickly.
timeline by a lot. I would say that we probably would not have thought after a month we'd be here. In addition to the fact that we've taken out the leadership twice and maybe 3 times. And we, as you know, we want to be involved. We don't want another president that maybe wouldn't be willing to do what I'm willing to do for the good of the world, for the good of
Yeah.
our nation, to be stuck with a situation in 5 years or 10 years from now. So we think they should put a president in or the head of the country in that's going to be
No
able to do
way.
something peacefully for a
Not
change.
Megan.
They've been
No
doing this for
way.
47 years, killing people for 47 years, whether it's the barracks or even the SS Cole where they were involved. Very strongly, they always denied it. But where they were very strongly involved, and all of the people that died through the roadside bombs died and are right now walking around with no legs, no arms, a face that's been so badly damaged. The Iranian regime has been attacking Americans and spreading terror for 47 years, and despite these countless opportunities to renounce their nuclear ambitions, which they had just a short while ago, they told Mr. Witkoff, who is standing right over here, they said, they actually said, we want to keep building. Essentially, in a real nutshell, we want to continue to build nuclear weapons. If we didn't knock out Midnight Hammer, if we didn't knock out their Iranian potential, if we didn't do that with Midnight Hammer, they would have had a nuclear weapon. They would have used it long before now. And at a minimum, Israel would have been annihilated. I was very lucky that we had the courage to do that, that we had the talented pilots and the great equipment. The B-2 bombers are unbelievable. We ordered 25 more, by the way. The newer, better version. It's we have the greatest military in the world. We have the greatest equipment in the world by far. You see that no matter where we go. You still need the people, though, to operate it and to use it. And those are the people that we cherish. Even after we obliterated their key nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer, they never negotiated in good faith. They still continued to say, we want to build nuclear, we want enrichment at levels that were unacceptable. And they even turned down an offer for unlimited free nuclear fuel forever for civilian purposes. We had people offering them
Uncle Trump.
free
Uncle
nuclear
Trump.
fuel. They weren't interested in that because they wanted to build a nuclear weapon. So instead, the regime was trying to reconstitute its weapons program at a different site. They couldn't go back to where they were, the 3 sites that we obliterated, but they were starting work at another site, a different site, different kind of a site, and that was protected by granite. They wanted it protected. Granite's pretty good, but they wanted it protected by a lot deeper. They wanted to go a lot deeper, and they started the process while rapidly building conventional ballistic missiles. They were going to do it all at the same time. It threatened our overseas bases and soon could have reached even our homeland. The regime's intention was to use this exponentially growing ballistic missile threat to make it virtually impossible to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. So as you probably saw, they had a tremendous number of missiles, most of which have now been used or destroyed, and very unsuccessfully
Used and
because we have
destroyed, though.
been able, for the most part, to shoot them all down. What incredible technology.
He
The
said to
Patriots have
shoot
been
all of them down, though.
unbelievable, and other things. And the laser technology that we have now is incredible. It's coming out pretty soon. Where literally lasers will do the work of,
He's
at a lot
spitting
less
back?
cost, do the work of
Is that what you just
what the
said?
Patriots are doing or what other things are doing.
He's
The
spitting
situation
back.
was very quickly
Why you say
approaching
that?
the point
Why you-
of no return, and
Why
the
you say
United
he's spitting
States
facts, though?
found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to
Why you
attack
say
us. I
that?
thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And if you notice, they did something which was very foolish, very stupid, I would say. They attacked their neighbors. And their neighbors were largely neutral, or at least weren't going to be involved, and they got attacked. And it had the reverse effect. The neighbors came onto our side and started attacking them, and actually quite successfully. If you look at Saudi Arabia, you look at UAE, Qatar, and others, but they were strong
Insane.
and they were smart, but they got attacked.
Yeah,
Nobody, when I first heard it, I said, no, somebody made a mistake.
Millions of dollars.
There was no mistake.
That's
UAE had
rounds.
over 1,000
Now, that makes
missiles
sense.
shot at it, knocked them almost all down.
That makes sense.
On the very first day
Yeah,
it came down,
you
the
ain't
escalator
lying.
in 2015, I said,
But he's taking
quote,
our
I
money
will stop Iran from
that he's
getting
supposed to
nuclear
give
weapons.
us and spend it on
And
these
all I'm
weapons
doing
and
is
shit.
keeping my promise.
So is that a
was
good
in
thing that he's
2015.
doing that to keep
I
us
said it.
safe?
It was a threat
Well, that's
then,
a
and
bad
a much
thing
bigger threat
because
now,
that is
but no
our
longer
money,
a
though.
threat,
You feel
not
me?
for a long time anyway.
I don't know.
We want to keep it that way. As we continue
That's-
Operation
that's very
Epic Fury,
confusing
we're
right
also
there.
focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world. And I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever. If they want to play that game, they better not play that game. In the long run, oil supplies will be
He said they better not play
dramatically
that
more
game.
secure without the threat of Iranian ships, drones, missiles, nuclear menace, or anything. So the Strait of Hormuz is going to remain safe. We have a lot of Navy ships there. We have the best equipment in the world, inspecting for mines. Again, most of their ships are down at the bottom of the sea, but we will hit them so hard that it will not be possible for them or anybody else helping them to ever recover that section of the world if they do anything. In recent years, the regime and its terror proxies have launched attacks on hundreds of commercial vessels.
It's
We're putting an
all
end
out
to
of
all of
country.
this threat once and for all, and the result will be lower oil prices, oil and gas prices
Woo!
for
Yeah.
American families. We've done
Real
it. We've done
bad,
it.
right?
We brought it very low. This was just an
Big facts
excursion
on that
into
one,
something
bruh.
that had to be done. We're getting very close to finishing that, too. In the meantime, during this brief disruption, the United States is offering political risk insurance to any tankers operating in the Gulf. So we're putting up risk insurance. We'll perhaps go alongside of them for protection. We don't think it'll be necessary if it is. And if they do anything, the price will be incalculable. It will be so great that they will have wished they never did it. Because you have to keep the straits flowing. With all of that, it affects other countries much more than it does the United States. It doesn't really affect us. We have so much oil. We have tremendous oil and gas.
Niggas say we got so
much more
much
than we
oil.
need. We have Venezuela now as our new partner, great partner. They've worked out so wonderful. We're working with the administration, the president, and it's a massive source of oil, gas, everything. But we're in a very good position, but very unfair to other parts of the world, like China as an example. I mean, we're doing this for the other parts of the world, including countries like China. They get a lot of their oil through the straits. So we're doing this. We have a very good relationship with President Xi in China. I'm going there in a short period of time, and we're protecting the world from what these lunatics are trying to do.
We protecting
And
the
very
world. You and this
successfully,
nigga.
I might add. We're also waiving certain oil-related sanctions to reduce prices. So we have sanctions on some countries. We're going to take those sanctions off till this straightens out. And who knows, maybe we won't have to put them on. There'll be so much peace. But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the
Glad we
strait
had
if
a
needed.
president with balls.
I hope it's not going to be needed, but if it's needed, we'll escort them right through. And we have the greatest mine-sweeping ability. We have the greatest
Back.
ships and all of them.
Nah,
We know
for real.
exactly
Hey.
where they're placed. We'll get them out of
That
there very
nigga is
fast, but
tough, cuz.
we hope we don't have any of that. And again,
Ain't
if they
lying
do
about
that
that.
and they
He's
play that
tough.
game, we're going to hit them at a
He-
level
hey,
that they have not
He ain't
seen
gonna
before.
just give in.
So we're winning very
Nope.
decisively. We're way ahead of
He's
schedule.
not giving in at
It's-
all.
Our military is the greatest in the world, with the greatest equipment and the greatest people in the
We
world.
need to
There's-
end that shit.
Nobody's ever seen anything like
Well,
it.
nigga contriving.
Iran's a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands since their last hit.
He
They
said
had
they was gonna
thousands
take
and
over.
thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed. But they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder.
Damn.
Thank you very much for being here. Go ahead. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Do you approve of Iran's new supreme leader? And secondly, can you tell us more about your call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today?
Yes.
What did you discuss?
Yes, I had a very good call with President Putin. We had a lot of people on the line from our side, from his side. We were talking about Ukraine, which is just a never-ending fight. And look, there's tremendous hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky. They can't seem to get it together. But I think it was a positive call on that subject. And we obviously talked then about the Middle East. And he wants to be helpful. I said, you could be more helpful by getting the Ukraine-Russia war over with. That would be more helpful. But we had a very good talk, and he wants to be very constructive. Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
Are you
but
talking
soon.
about days?
I think so.
Okay, and with respect
Very
to
soon. Look, everything they have is gone, including their leadership. In fact, they have two levels of leadership, and even actually, as it turns out, more than that. But two levels of leadership are gone. Most people have never even heard about the leaders that they're talking about. So it's obviously been very, very powerful, very effective.
to Cuba, you said that Cuba wants to make a deal.
Yes.
What would the United States get in return for that, and why should Americans trust Marco Rubio to negotiate it?
Well, Marco Rubio is doing a great job. I think he's going to go down as the greatest Secretary of State in history. Look at what we've done as a presidency. Look at what we've done as an administration. They trust Marco, and so do the American people trust. He's been successful no matter where he's been. He also speaks the language, which is always nice and always helpful. But he's dealing, and it may be a friendly takeover. It may not be a friendly takeover. It wouldn't matter because they're down to, as they say, fumes. They have no energy. They have no money. They're in deep trouble on a humanitarian basis. And we don't want to see that, but they were very, very bad to a lot of people, as you know, and a lot of people living on the Cuban-American vote, which I got at record levels. Very important. Those people are very important to me. I know what they went through. They went through hell. Some of them have gone on to be some of the most successful people in the country. Cuban-American business people, some of them are like the most successful in the country. And a lot of them are friends of mine because I've been fighting this battle with them for a long time. The Castro regime was brutal, but they lived off Venezuela. And now they don't live off Venezuela. Sends them no energy, no fuel, no oil, no money, no nothing.
Damn.
They lived without Venezuela. They couldn't have made it. And we cut them off from everything else. So, yeah, they're going to make either a deal or we'll do it just as easy anyway. Yeah. Please, go ahead.
I cannot start a YouTube channel. I don't have the money for cameras. I don't have money for editing software or equipment. I just can't do this. Well, what about this phone that you all...
Missile strike and a Tomahawk missile likely destroy that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I
for that
haven't
strike?
seen it, and I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries, you know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more, but whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic, it's sold to other countries, but that's being investigated right now. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be prepared
Well, I think
for
you could
this war
say
to
it
last
both.
for?
It's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft equipment. It's all been blown up. They have no radar, they have no telecommunications, and they have no leadership. It's all gone.
It's all gone.
You could look at that statement. We could,
You heard what he
we
said.
could
It's
call
all
it
gone.
a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further. But the big risk on that war has been over for 3 days. We wiped them out in the first 2 days. When you think about it, it's incredible. We wiped out a big Navy, very powerful Navy. These were ships. These were serious ships. These were ships that you buy when you want to win battles. They're all on the bottom floor. The sailors are all running off their ships. They refuse to get on the ship. The Air Force is gone. Everything's gone. The missiles are down to a trickle. The drones are down to probably 25%, and they'll soon be down to nothing. We'll have where they manufactured the drones are under fire as we speak. They're being hit. So the rest is going to be determination as to my attitude, along with the people in the Trump administration, what we want to do. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Can I ask you, you mentioned you were going to waive certain additional oil waivers or sanctions. Can you talk a little bit more about that and address in particular?
Well, we're looking to keep the oil prices down. We went artificially up because of this excursion into a very positive thing. I mean, this was an excursion that a lot of people wouldn't have done. I knew oil prices would go up if I did this, and they've gone up probably less than I thought they'd go up. But I don't think anybody thought we were going to be this quickly successful. This was a military success, the likes of which people haven't seen. We have the best military. We have the best
There you
equipment.
go. There you
We
go.
have I believe the best generals. We have the best.
That's why I'm
And
so scared.
this
That
went very
shit right
quickly.
there.
We talked about that with President Putin. He was very
That's
impressed
why I'm so
with what
scared.
he saw because nobody's ever seen anything quite like it. You know, Iran was a very powerful military country with all of the
So
missiles. Now,
scared. Right there.
you had the double attack. You had the original attack with us and Israel, and that knocked them for a loop. Then you had the B-2 bombers, which took out their nuclear capability, and they would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and they would have used it long before this press conference, and we might have had a much different press conference if we had a press conference at all. But it's been amazing. The military success that we've had is truly unprecedented.
You said, you've told your congressional colleagues that you will not sign any piece of legislation until the Save America Act is passed. Does that include the confirmation of Senator Mullen as your next DHS secretary? Does that mean a DHS funding bill? And Senator Thune said today, it's not a matter of whether or not your Republican colleagues agree with the policy, it's about changing the process. In other words, getting rid of the filibuster to get there.
So in order to get it, you're going to need Democrat votes, and what we're saying is the Save America, not the SAVE Act, which nobody knew what it was, the Save America Act. The Save America Act.
You hear
And
this
that's
shit?
voter ID. We want voter ID. When a voter, we want to be able to see a picture of the voter. We want to be able to see that the voter is legitimate.
Save America
We
Act.
want, very important, that this voter is a citizen of the United States of America.
Save America
And we want
Act.
no mail-in ballot scams. So we have exceptions for the military, for sick, for disabled, and for people that are away, business trips or whatever. Even vacations will be very liberal in that. We've added two things to it: no men in women's sports and no transgender mutilization of our children. We don't want it's mutilization of our children, and we don't want that. So we added those two things. That's the 5 points. We have 5 very good points. It polls at 86% with Democrats. Think of that. The overall vote is 86%. With Republicans, it's 98%.
98.
And the only one opposed to it is a Democrat leadership because they cheat. They want to cheat. So we added those 2 points. We're going for
Because
the
they
gold,
cheat. They want to cheat.
and we're going to have to fight like hell. Now, certain things will happen. Certain things will take place. I'm here to do a great job for the country. But we don't have a country if we're going to have elections that are so corrupt and so dishonest like we've
That's so
witnessed over the
corrupt.
last period of time. You know, as an example, virtually nobody has nobody has a system of mail-in ballots like we have. No other country in the world. France went away from
country
it.
in the world.
They all went, you know why? Because it's corrupt. And
No
Jimmy Carter, when he had a
country in the
commission,
world.
frankly, I think it's probably the best thing Jimmy Carter did. He said, you can't have mail-in voting because it's inherently dishonest. And it's turned out to be totally dishonest, so we're going to fight for it.
Then we're going to fight for it.
Iran activated any sleeper cells inside the U.S. There's reports that they have pressed that trigger button to activate those cells, at least abroad.
Well, they've been trying for a long time. We've been very much on top of it. One of the things we have to do is get the Democrats to stop the Democrat shutdown, because, as you know, the apparatus that looks into that, Schumer and the Democrats have shut it down, which tells you they probably hate our country a lot. But the Democrats have to open that up. But we've got very, very good intelligence into that. We know a lot of different things that have happened that have been very bad. A lot of them came in during the Biden open border period, but we have them under, we've got them, we're watching every single one of them. Yeah,
Said
we know a
watching
lot about
every
them.
single one of them.
The biggest problem we have is the Democrat shutdown. We know a lot about them, but the shutdown doesn't allow us to do what we have to do.
Fact.
Do you have to take him out? Does he have a target on his back?
You mean the new supreme leader? You mean the son?
How can there be an Iran with
Well,
another
I don't
Ayatollah?
want to say that, but I was disappointed because we think it's going to lead to just more of the same problem for the country. So I was disappointed to see their choice.
You've said you have someone in mind to be the new Iranian leadership, if not the Ayatollah's son. What are you looking for in that person? Are you looking at someone internal, given that you just said that their leadership has been
I
decided
like the
and wiped
idea
out?
of, internal and eternal, come to think of it. But I like the idea of internal because it works well. I mean, I think we've proven that so far in Venezuela. We have a woman, Delcy, who has been, president of the country, very respected, she's doing a great job. And it's, no disruption. We had, as you remember, Iraq, where everybody got fired. The military got fired, the police got fired, the politicians got fired. There was nobody. And you know what they turned into? ISIS. And we don't want that. We don't want that. So I would like to see people that are inside go. Now, they talk about the son of the Shah. They talk about other people. But, hasn't been there in many, many years. We have a formula that's been very good so far, and I think it'll continue to be good. The relationship is extraordinary with Venezuela, smart country. We've taken out 100 million barrels of oil. It's right now in Houston being taken care of and made so beautiful. And you have to see this at work. They have, it's brought to the refineries. It's being refined in Houston, which is made exactly for that product. And so far, but it's 100 million barrels of oil, and now they have another 100 million barrels coming. And it's like a partnership. We're getting along so well with them.
Bro.
It's great for Venezuela, and it's great for the United States.
That's why he went over there and took that shit.
Making how-to videos used to take me hours. I'd record, mess up, start over, and edit forever, until I finally said enough. So I tried a few tools, and Guide was by far the best option.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, you just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report. Yeah, please.
You said earlier that we've already won in many ways, but we haven't won enough. What do you consider enough? What's your baseline?
Where they're not going to be starting the following day to develop a nuclear weapon. Where they'll look at that man and some other people from the administration and say, all right, we're not going to do it. They were not willing to say that. And when Steve called up and he said that to me, I said, well, here we go. Let's do it the hard way. But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way. When basically I can see that they will no longer have any capacity whatsoever for a very long period of time of developing weaponry that could be used against the United States, Israel, or any of our allies. We have great allies in the Middle East, great countries that are allies. And they were staying out of it until they got hit. Someday they'll have to do a story. Why did he do that? Why did they do that? But they were going to hit them. If I didn't hit them first, they were going to hit our allies first. I believe, upon information and belief, but I believe that he was going to, they were going to take over the Middle East. They were looking to take over the Middle East. Now, had Operation Midnight Hammer not taken place, that was definite, because they would have had a nuclear weapon within a matter of weeks. But that took place. That was a setback. But look at the number of missiles they were able to buy and make over the last 6 months. And those missiles were aimed at various countries. And when you look at over 1,000 missiles shot at like UAE, they were looking to take over the Middle East. We got there first. We're lucky. I'll tell you what, the Middle East and those countries, very rich countries, are very lucky that I was president instead of somebody else.
Points of disagreement between yourself and your vice president when it comes to U.S. action in Iran?
I don't think so, no. No, we get along very well on this. He was, I would say, philosophically a little bit different than me. I think he was maybe less enthusiastic about going, but he was quite enthusiastic. But I felt it was something we had to do. I didn't feel we had a choice. If we didn't do it, they would have done it to us. I felt, based on the negotiations that were being had by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco and Pete, and everybody was involved, I felt that they were looking to tap us along before they hit, and I thought they were going to hit. And if they hit us first, that would have been a very bad thing. In the back, please, in the back. About the Strait, you mean? Yeah, well, I want to keep it open. I want to keep it good. You know, it doesn't pertain to us so much as it does to China. We're really helping China here and other countries because they get a lot of their energy from the Straits. But, hey, look, we have a good relationship with China. It's my honor to do it. Yeah.
You have called him an unacceptable choice. So does he have a target on his back? And how can you say
I don't want to say whether or not he does because that would be inappropriate.
That's a serious
look,
question.
I had a target on my back because, as you people wrote pretty well, they caught the assassin that was after me. So we just got them first, but they caught the assassin. They have him now in custody that was after me. So, you know, but people don't like to mention that, but they did catch him. And I'd like to congratulate our military, Secret Service, FBI, all of the people that worked on that, but they did. Yeah, please. Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You promised the Iranian people you would help them, but it sounds like you're willing to end this fight after your military objectives have wrapped up. Isn't that a betrayal of the
Will I
people?
help them? I'd like to, if they can behave. But they've been very menacing. You know, they're great people. They have an amazing population. It's amazing, smart, brilliant, energetic. They have a great, I'd love to help them, but they have to be in a system that allows them to be helped. And right now they're in a system that only allows failure. And I don't want that. And I want a system that's not going to be attacking us. We want a system that can lead to many years of peace. And if we can't have that, we might as well get it over with right now. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, as of today, there have been 8 U.S. military fatalities associated with the war in Iran. How many American deaths are you willing to have in this war?
Well, as I said before, when you have conflicts like this, you
Nobody.
always have death. And I was at Dover yesterday. I met the parents, and they were unbelievable people. They were unbelievable people, but they all had one thing in common. They said to me one thing every
You don't
single
know who Jack Paul is?
Finish the job,
That's the
sir.
nigga that Joe
Please
fought
finish the
Mike
job.
Tyson. You remember
And
for that 40 million?
I'll leave you
That
at
was
that.
the one
Thank
that
you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Man, thank y'all for tapping in, man. Thank y'all for tapping in. I got another banger for y'all, though. Got another banger for y'all.
Remember
y'all
your
know,
dreams, your future, your education? Has private student loan
Y'all know Trump full of shit, but I got another banger.
To be here with a terrific person who's worked so hard on this and some other terrific people. Thank you very much. But I'm pleased to be joined today by EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, who you all know, and to announce the single largest deregulatory action in American history. That's a big statement in American history. And I think we can add the words by far. Under the process just completed by the EPA, we are officially terminating the so-called endangerment finding, a disastrous Obama-era policy that severely damaged the American auto industry and massively drove up prices for American consumers. Prices went up incredibly for a worse product. This action will eliminate over $1.3 trillion of regulatory costs and help bring car prices tumbling down dramatically. You're going to get a better car. You're going to get a car that starts easier, a car that works better for a lot less money. In 2009, Barack Hussein Obama, his EPA designated fossil fuels such as oil, gas, and other things that actually make factories rock and roll and other things drive very nicely as a threat to health and human welfare, known as the endangerment finding. This determination had no basis, in fact, had none whatsoever, and it had no basis in law. On the contrary, over the generations, fossil fuels have saved millions of lives and lifted billions of people out of poverty and all over the world. And you see it with the blackouts all over where they don't use it, where they went to wind, intermittent wind, which is weak and ineffective and very, very costly, most costly energy there is. And people are dying because there was no air conditioning or there was no heating. Lots of other things, bad things happened. And yet this radical rule became the legal foundation for the Green New Scam, one of the greatest scams in history, probably as great, maybe even greater than Russia hoax, etc., which the Obama and Biden administration used to destroy countless jobs. And the jobs have been just decimated. Although they're all coming back because of tariffs, they're all coming back into our country at levels we've never seen before. But it raised prices and caused immense harm to the U.S. auto industry. We thought irreparable, but we've got them back. We're coming back now. I was in Detroit, as you know, with Ford, and they had one of the earliest plants from the early 1900s, and it was going to be closed down. And then when I won, they said, let's keep it open for a little while. Let's see what happens. And they just announced, as you know, they're going 24 hours around the clock with that same plant that was going to be closed because of what we've done. For example, under the endangerment finding, they forced the hated start-stop feature onto American consumers, which unnecessarily shuts off a car's engine when you stop at a red light. In other words, the engine goes off. That's great. The endangerment finding was also used to impose the massive and really very expensive electric vehicle mandate, expensive in the sense that nobody wanted it. Everybody was going to be forced to buy an electric car in a very short period of time, even though you can't power the car because we would have had to spend $5 trillion on power stations. That's all dead, gone, over. These crippling restrictions were a major factor in driving up car prices to unprecedented levels, and the car that you were getting was not nearly as good. In 4 years under the Biden administration, the price of a new and used car rose more than 22%, all to facilitate the Green New Scam without achieving any meaningful impact on the environment, but making the car worse. That is why, effective immediately, we are repealing the ridiculous endangerment finding and terminating all additional green emission standards imposed unnecessarily on vehicle models and engines between 2012 and 2027 and beyond. This action will save American consumers trillions of dollars and will lower the average cost of a new vehicle by close to $3,000. Think of that. During my campaign, I promised to cut 10 old regulations for every new regulation. And we've exceeded that. We've instead done it 10 regulations. We were able to cut 129. So now we cut 129. So think of that. I promised to cut 10 old regulations for every new one, but we did more than 10. We did 129. It's something, nobody can even believe it. So we did a lot of regulation cutting in the first administration, a record, nobody even close to it now. We're actually exceeding it in this administration. The biggest one yet that we've done is happening right now. So perhaps no industry has benefited more from our historic deregulation campaign than the U.S. auto industry. We canceled the EPA's absurd, just totally absurd, tailpipe emission standards, which was a disaster for automobile manufacturing, and revoked Biden's emissions waiver that would have allowed California to regulate automobiles for the entire nation. And they're crazy out in California. They have nothing but trouble out there, as you know. That's why people are leaving in record numbers. I also ended Joe Biden's extreme cafe emission standards, saving the average American consumer much more than $1,000 when they buy a new car. But now we're talking about close to $3,000. These regulation cuts, combined with our tax cuts and tariffs, are the reason why the world's largest automakers have announced that they're going to be spending in excess of $100 billion in the United States in the next very short period of time, building new auto plants. We're bringing our auto plants, assembly plants, and factories roaring back to life, not even mentioning AI and all of the other things. We're building thousands of businesses.
I'm tapping in. Listen, man. Thank y'all for tuning in with me tonight, man. I gave y'all 3 hours because I love y'all. Now I gave y'all the update on the war. I gave y'all the Friday night episode, and I gave you what's going on in real life. So thank y'all for tapping into Your Cuz Podcast. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Make sure y'all sign up for the membership, y'all. Turn me up. I love y'all. Gone.